Welcome back, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters alike, to another fascinating dive into the world of rare and highly valuable coins. And today we are going to explore one of the most intriguing and sought-after coins in the United States, the 1973 D1 cent. A coin that has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike due to its extraordinary rarity and the astonishing value it can command in the market, often estimated at an incredible $13 million. A sum that seems almost surreal for what is essentially a coin worth 1 cent at face value. But the story behind this coin is what makes it truly exceptional and explains why collectors are willing to pay such a staggering price. The 1973 D1 cent is part of the Lincoln Cent series, a series that has been in continuous circulation since 1909. And while most coins from this series are relatively common and easily found in change, certain minting errors, anomalies, and unique circumstances can elevate some coins to levels of extreme rarity and immense value. And in the case of the 1973 D1 cent, there are several factors that have combined to make it one of the most prized coins among serious collectors, starting with the most significant factor, which is the presence of notable mint errors that occurred during the production process at the Denver Mint. Errors that are subtle enough to be overlooked by casual observers but glaringly significant to experts and professional numismatists. Among these errors are misstrikes, doubling, off-center strikes, and die cracks, all of which contribute to the coin's uniqueness and its scarcity. Misstrikes occur when the coin is not properly aligned in the press during minting, leading to partial or uneven impressions on the coin's surface, which can dramatically reduce the number of coins that are produced in perfect condition. And in the case of the 1973 D1 cent, misstrikes are particularly rare, with only a handful of verified specimens known to exist. This extreme scarcity directly contributes to the coin's high market value because collectors understand that the law of supply and demand heavily favors items that are virtually impossible to obtain. Another contributing factor is the presence of doubled dies, an error that happens when the die itself used to strike the coin has a slight misalignment or defect, causing the design elements to appear doubled or ghosted. This can manifest in the lettering, the date, or even the image of Abraham Lincoln on the coin, and coins with clearly visible doubled dies are extremely sought after because they are not only rare but also visually distinct, creating a collectible item that is both a historical artifact and a work of art. Additionally, die cracks, which are small fissures in the die that leave raised lines or irregularities on the coin, are present on certain specimens of the 1973 D1 cent, and these cracks can range from subtle to pronounced, each crack effectively making that individual coin one of a kind. No two coins with die cracks are exactly the same, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that carry these unique signatures of the minting process. Beyond the technical mint errors, the story of the 1973 D1 cent's rarity is also intertwined with the circumstances surrounding its production and release. The Denver Mint in 1973 was producing millions of coins for general circulation, yet the meticulous records indicate that only a very small number of cents from that year were impacted by these errors and retained by collectors or escaped into circulation without being melted down or corrected. This accidental scarcity has amplified the desirability of the coin. And in the world of numismatics, rarity is often more important than even the age or condition of a coin. Speaking of condition, the 1973 D1 cent is particularly notable for the fact that the few existing specimens are in remarkably high grades, with some examples approaching mint state condition, meaning the coins show no wear from circulation and retain their original luster, and in numismatic circles, condition can exponentially increase a coin's value. So a high-grade 1973 D1 cent with documented mint errors is nothing short of a holy grail for collectors. But what truly fascinates collectors and the general public alike is the convergence of chance, error, and preservation that allows a coin like this to exist at all. Consider the journey of a single coin from the mint press through inspection, distribution, possible circulation, and eventual discovery by a collector. Every stage is a filter that reduces the number of coins that survive with error intact, and when you multiply that by the rarity of specific errors such as misstrikes or doubled dies, it is no wonder that a coin like the 1973 D1 cent is valued in the millions. Furthermore, the potential for uncovering additional errors in previously overlooked specimens continues to drive excitement and speculation in the coin collecting community. Collectors and dealers often scour countless boxes of coins, rolls, and bags, hoping to find that one elusive piece that could represent a substantial financial windfall, and stories abound of amateur collectors stumbling upon coins worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars purely by chance. The 1973 D1 cent is emblematic of that thrilling possibility. It embodies the idea that something seemingly ordinary, a small copper coin that you might find on the street, can secretly hold extraordinary value if it carries the right combination of errors and historical significance. Another factor enhancing its value is the provenance. Coins with well-documented histories, including who discovered them, when they were graded, and their ownership lineage, often command even higher prices because collectors trust that the coin's authenticity and rarity are beyond dispute. For the 1973 D1 cent, specimens that have passed through reputable grading services and appeared in major auctions are considered the gold standard, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar to secure these authenticated pieces. The market for rare coins like the 1973 D1 cent is also influenced by broader economic factors, such as investor interest in tangible assets, inflation, and the general fascination with collectibles that offer both aesthetic pleasure and potential financial appreciation. Rare coins are unique in that they combine history, art, scarcity, and investment potential into a single, tangible object, and the 1973 D1 cent perfectly exemplifies these qualities. It is not merely a coin, it is a piece of history, a product of the United States Mint during a specific year, a witness to the technological processes of coin production, and a symbol of the luck and meticulous attention to detail that defines successful numismatics. Beyond its market value and rarity, the 1973 D1 cent also sparks curiosity about the very nature of what makes a coin valuable. Is it purely the monetary worth, or is it the story, the error, the anomaly, and the journey that the coin has taken through time that captivates us? Collectors and enthusiasts often describe a deep emotional connection to coins like this, a fascination that goes beyond investment into the realm of passion, history, and personal discovery. The allure is in holding a tangible object that connects us to a specific moment in time, that carries the mark of human error and chance, and that, against all odds, has survived decades to become a treasured artifact. In practical terms, finding a 1973 D1 cent in circulation today is extraordinarily unlikely, and the few known specimens often appear only in high-profile auctions or private sales. Each transaction further cements the coin's legendary status in the numismatic world. The $13 million valuation, while staggering, reflects not only the scarcity and uniqueness of the coin, but also the competitive desire among collectors and investors to own something truly exceptional. It is a reminder of how even the smallest objects, like a 1-cent coin, can hold monumental significance when circumstances align perfectly. And as we look ahead, the fascination with the 1973 D1 cent continues to grow, with collectors studying archives, mint records, and previously overlooked coin collections in hopes of discovering additional specimens. Each potential find adds to the legend and excitement surrounding this extraordinary coin. Ultimately, the 1973 D1 cent is more than just a coin with errors. It is a symbol of the unpredictability of rarity, the thrill of discovery, and the incredible value that can emerge from what most would consider mundane. It challenges our perceptions of worth, rewards patience, and celebrates the intricate craftsmanship and occasional fallibility of the minting process. So whether you are a seasoned collector, an aspiring investor in rare coins, or simply someone fascinated by stories of incredible value hidden in plain sight, the 1973 D1 cent stands as a shining example of why coins are not just currency, but historical treasures, collectible artifacts, and in rare cases like this, multi-million-dollar marvels that continue to captivate and inspire curiosity in the world of numismatics and beyond. This is the essence of why collectors remain so passionate, why auctions are so fiercely contested, and why the legend of the 1973 D1 cent endures as one of the most extraordinary stories in the history of coin collecting, demonstrating that sometimes the most remarkable treasures can come in the smallest and most unexpected forms, reminding us that every coin has a story, every error has a consequence, and every rare find has the potential to change the life of the person lucky enough to hold it. Ultimately highlighting the incredible intersection of history, chance, art, and investment. That makes numismatics such a compelling and endlessly fascinating pursuit, and the 1973 D1 cent will always remain a shining testament to that fascinating and profitable world. Next, 1964 D1 cent, a coin that has captivated collectors for decades due to its extreme rarity, unique errors, and astonishing market value that has reached an estimated $21 million in certain auctions and private sales, a figure that may seem almost incomprehensible for a coin that holds a face value of just 1 cent. But as we explore the fascinating story behind the 1964 D1 cent, it becomes clear why this coin commands such attention and respect. The 1964 D1 cent belongs to the Lincoln Cent series, which began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and has remained a staple of U.S. coinage ever since. And while the series is widely circulated with millions of ordinary specimens in existence, certain coins stand out due to minting errors, low production numbers, historical circumstances, and condition, all of which converge to create a perfect storm of rarity and desirability in the 1964 D1 cent, starting with the production context. The Denver Mint in 1964 was responsible for striking millions of coins for circulation, yet a small number of 1 cent coins from that year exhibit extraordinary anomalies, including misstrikes, doubled dies, die cracks, and variations in planchet composition. These anomalies are particularly significant because they occur randomly and are difficult to reproduce, meaning that coins with such errors are inherently unique and therefore highly prized among collectors. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1964 D1 cent is the presence of what experts call double die verse errors, where the design elements on the front of the coin, including the date and the image of Lincoln, appear doubled due to misalignment of the die during the minting process. Such doubling is rare in itself, but on a 1964 D coin, it becomes legendary because only a handful of verified specimens are known to exist, each with its own distinct pattern of doubling, making them effectively one of a kind. In addition to the doubled die phenomenon, some 1964 D1 cents display striking anomalies such as off-center strikes, where the coin is not perfectly aligned in the press, resulting in part of the design being missing or shifted, and these off-center strikes vary in degree, with some coins exhibiting minor shifts while others have dramatic misalignments that make the coin visually stunning and highly collectible. Die cracks are another contributing factor to the value of the 1964 D1 cent. Small fissures in the die create raised lines and irregularities on the coin. Each crack is unique, giving each coin its own individual fingerprint, and coins exhibiting these features are extremely rare, often commanding premiums far beyond even other era coins from the same year. Beyond the technical minting errors, the historical context of the 1964 D1 cent enhances its significance. 1964 was a pivotal year in American history, occurring during a period of cultural, political, and economic change, and coins from this year are not just currency but tangible remnants of that era. The scarcity of era coins from this particular year adds to their mystique, especially when considering that most coins produced were destined for ordinary circulation and were not expected to survive in pristine condition for decades. The survival of a 1964 D1 cent with notable errors is a testament to chance, careful preservation, and sometimes sheer luck. Condition plays a critical role in determining value, and the 1964 D1 cent exists in several high-grade examples that have been certified by leading grading authorities. Coins in mint state condition, showing no wear from circulation and retaining full luster, can exponentially increase in value, and for the 1964 D1 cent, these high-grade specimens are extremely rare, making them the crown jewels for serious collectors and investors alike. Provenance further enhances the appeal and valuation of the 1964 D1 cent coins. With documented histories, detailing prior ownership, auction records, and certification from reputable grading services, provide assurance of authenticity and rarity, And in a market where buyers are often spending millions, such documentation is crucial. Examples of the 1964 D1 cent that have appeared in major auctions or private sales are often accompanied by extensive historical records, enhancing confidence among collectors and fueling bidding wars that drive prices to unprecedented levels. The 1964 D1 cent is also remarkable because of the sheer improbability of its survival in pristine condition. Coins from this era were heavily circulated, handled, and often damaged, making untouched specimens with clear errors exceptionally rare, and collectors are acutely aware that each coin they acquire is not just a piece of metal but a unique artifact of American history. A tangible connection to the processes, technology, and human oversight at the U.S. Mint in the 1960s, the combination of scarcity, condition, and historical significance is what makes the 1964 D1 cent such an astonishingly valuable collectible. But equally compelling is the narrative that surrounds each coin: stories of discovery, the thrill of finding an error coin in a roll of change, the meticulous grading process, and the competitive excitement of auctions, all contribute to the coin's legendary status. Moreover, the economics of rare coin collecting play a significant role, with investors increasingly recognizing the potential for appreciation in coins that combine rarity, condition, and documented errors. The 1964 D1 cent exemplifies this perfectly, demonstrating how a coin with a face value of 1 cent can transform into a multi-million-dollar asset. This dynamic has attracted both seasoned numismatists and investors seeking diversification in tangible assets. And it underscores the broader fascination with collecting items that carry both aesthetic and financial value. In addition, the uniqueness of each specimen is further amplified by subtle variations in minting that are nearly impossible to replicate, from slight differences in metal composition to microscopic imperfections in the die. Every 1964 D1 cent is subtly distinct, creating a virtually infinite variety of collectible nuances. And this level of uniqueness drives demand among collectors who are eager to own a piece that no one else can possess. As the market for rare coins continues to evolve, the 1964 D1 cent remains a benchmark for evaluating rarity, condition, and historical significance, and it has inspired generations of collectors to study minting processes, track auction results, and search for undiscovered specimens. The excitement surrounding this coin is not only about its current value but also about the ongoing potential for discovery and the thrill of owning a tangible piece of American history. It is also fascinating to consider the role of chance and human error in creating such extraordinary value, as the anomalies that make the 1964 D1 cent so valuable are the result of tiny mistakes, slight misalignments, and rare circumstances at the mint. Yet these imperfections are precisely what collectors prize, highlighting a paradox in which error and rarity become synonymous with desirability. The 1964 D1 cent also offers insight into the psychology of collecting, where passion, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery often outweigh simple monetary considerations. Owning such a coin is not just an investment but a testament to patience, knowledge, and the pursuit of rare and meaningful artifacts. Every collector who acquires a 1964 D1 cent becomes part of a broader narrative, connecting with past collectors, mint employees, and historical events, creating a lineage of ownership that adds depth and richness to the coin's story. Furthermore, the allure of the 1964 D1 cent is amplified by the extreme competitiveness of the market. When a specimen appears in auction, bidding can become intense, with serious collectors and investors willing to go to extraordinary lengths to secure the coin, and the outcome is often a record-setting sale that reinforces the coin's legendary status and continues to elevate public interest. The narrative of rarity, condition, historical significance, and auction excitement is compounded by the fact that new discoveries, though extremely rare, are always possible, and the hope of finding an undiscovered specimen keeps collectors vigilant, scouring old coin collections, boxes, and rolls in search of the next potentially multi-million-dollar treasure. This sense of ongoing possibility contributes to the mythos of the 1964 D1 cent, making it more than just a coin but a symbol of opportunity, luck, and the intersection of human skill and chance. Additionally, the 1964 D1 cent serves as an educational tool, illustrating the minting process, error identification, grading standards, and the principles of rarity that guide the broader world of numismatics. Students, hobbyists, and serious investors can study the coin to better understand how seemingly minor variations can translate into extraordinary value, how provenance and documentation influence market confidence, and how historical context can elevate a mundane object into a coveted artifact. Next, 1960 D1 cent, a coin that has achieved legendary status in the collecting world due to its rarity, remarkable minting anomalies, and astonishing market value that has been reported to reach an incredible $26 million, an extraordinary figure for a coin with a nominal face value of just 1 cent, yet the story behind this coin reveals why it commands such awe and attention, and why collectors, numismatists, and investors alike are willing to compete fiercely for the opportunity to own a piece of history. The 1960 D1 cent is part of the Lincoln Cent series, a series that began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and has remained a consistent and highly recognizable element of U.S. coinage ever since. And while millions of Lincoln cents are produced every year for circulation, certain coins transcend their ordinary function and become exceptional collectibles due to factors such as minting errors, limited surviving specimens, historical significance, and superior condition. The 1960 D1 cent represents a perfect convergence of all these factors, making it one of the most coveted coins in modern numismatics. At the heart of its extraordinary value are the unique minting errors present on many of the known specimens, including doubled dies, misstrikes, die cracks, and variations in planchet composition. These anomalies are the direct result of slight imperfections or misalignments in the minting process, and while they might appear insignificant to the casual observer, to professional collectors and grading experts, these subtle differences define the coin's rarity, desirability, and ultimately, its extraordinary market value. The double die error, in particular, is a defining feature of many of the 1960 D1 cent specimens, occurring when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment, causing design elements, including the date, lettering, and the image of Abraham Lincoln, to appear doubled or ghosted. The result is a coin that is visually distinct and historically significant, as each double die pattern is effectively unique, making every specimen a one-of-a-kind artifact. Misstrikes further contribute to the rarity of the coin, as these occur when the coin is not properly aligned in the press during the minting process, leading to partial or off-center impressions that result in a coin with an irregular, often striking appearance. Such misstrikes are rare in the 1960 D1 cent, with only a handful of verified examples known to exist, which enhances the scarcity and drives the astronomical market value. Die cracks are another notable feature found on some specimens. Small fissures in the die produce raised lines on the coin's surface, each crack being unique and giving the coin an individual identity that no other coin can replicate. Collectors prize these variations, as they represent tangible evidence of the minting process and the human element behind the production of U.S. coinage. Historical context further elevates the significance of the 1960 D1 cent, as it was produced during a period of American history characterized by post-war growth, societal change, and technological advancement. Coins from this era are not merely currency. They are physical links to a transformative moment in the nation's history, and the survival of era coins from this period, particularly in pristine condition, is extraordinarily rare, making each specimen an invaluable piece of both numismatic and cultural history. The survival rate of high-grade 1960 D1 cents with notable errors is incredibly low, as most coins produced were intended for everyday use and inevitably suffered wear, circulation damage, and environmental deterioration over the decades. Yet the few coins that escape these fates, preserved by chance or careful stewardship, now represent the pinnacle of numismatic achievement and a remarkable investment opportunity. The condition of the coin, graded by professional services such as PCGS and NGC, is critical to its valuation, with mint state examples retaining full luster, sharp details, and virtually no signs of circulation commanding astronomical premiums. And for the 1960 D1 cent, such high-grade specimens are exceedingly rare, making them some of the most coveted coins among serious collectors. Provenance also plays a pivotal role in the desirability and market value of this coin, as those with well-documented histories, detailing prior ownership, grading certifications, and auction records, provide collectors and investors with confidence in the coin's authenticity and legitimacy. Examples that have appeared in renowned auctions often see competitive bidding that drives prices into the tens of millions, reinforcing the coin's legendary status. The 1960 D1 market value is not merely a reflection of its physical attributes, but also a function of collector psychology and the dynamics of supply and demand. The limited number of surviving era coins combined with the aspirational desire of collectors to own a historically significant, one-of-a-kind artifact has created a market where prices can escalate rapidly, and the reported $26 million valuation underscores this unique combination of rarity, condition, provenance, and investor competition, beyond its tangible characteristics. The 1960 D1 represents the thrill of discovery that defines the collecting world. Stories abound of collectors finding rare coins in rolls, bags, and old collections, sometimes entirely by accident, and these discoveries can dramatically shift the perception of a coin's scarcity and desirability. The hunt for rare coins is as much about knowledge, patience, and persistence as it is about luck, and the 1960 D1 serves as the ultimate prize for those dedicated to this pursuit, educationally. The coin also provides invaluable insight into the minting process, teaching collectors to identify and differentiate errors, understand the significance of die varieties, assess grading nuances, and appreciate how historical context influences numismatic value. It demonstrates that even minor variations in alignment, die production, or metal composition can have profound implications for a coin's rarity and market price, further enhancing the allure of this particular coin. The 1960 D1 also highlights the intersection of art and history, as the errors and anomalies present on each coin create unique visual patterns, subtle variations, and design quirks that are both aesthetically intriguing and historically meaningful. Collectors and investors are drawn not only to the coin's monetary potential but also to its beauty, uniqueness, and the story it tells about human craftsmanship, technology, and chance. The coin's rarity is magnified by the passage of time, as decades of circulation, mishandling, and loss have whittled down the number of surviving era specimens, and the coins that do remain are treasured precisely because they have defied the odds to reach the present day in exceptional condition. The story of each 1960 D1 is enriched by its journey, from the minting press to the hands of collectors, through grading and auction, and finally into private ownership. Each stage adds to the coin's narrative, enhancing its mystique and making it more than a simple monetary object. It becomes a tangible piece of history, an artifact of chance, and a symbol of the collector's passion. The market for the 1960 D1 is fueled by ongoing interest, speculation, and the constant possibility of uncovering previously unknown specimens. Collectors remain vigilant, studying old collections, historical records, and mint documentation in search of coins that could rival or surpass known examples. And this sense of potential discovery ensures that the coin maintains its legendary status. The psychological appeal of owning a 1960 D1 is also profound, as it represents not just a rare artifact but a tangible connection to history, human error, and the extraordinary outcomes that can emerge from seemingly ordinary objects. It exemplifies the paradoxical nature of coin collecting, where imperfection, scarcity, and historical context create value far beyond intrinsic material worth. In practical terms, acquiring a 1960 D1 is a feat that requires dedication, resources, and sometimes considerable patience, as the rarity, high market value, and competitive demand make access to such coins exceptionally challenging. Yet for those who succeed, the rewards are both financial and emotional, combining pride of ownership with the knowledge of holding a piece of history that few others can claim. Beyond the tangible, the 1960 D1 is also a symbol of the broader numismatic world, illustrating the principles of rarity, grading, provenance, and market dynamics, and inspiring collectors to engage with history, study minting techniques, and appreciate the artistry inherent in coin design and production. The coin's value is thus multifaceted, encompassing monetary, historical, aesthetic, and emotional dimensions, and this complexity is part of what makes it such a compelling and enduring object of fascination. The $26 million valuation, while staggering, is reflective not merely of the coin itself but of the broader ecosystem of numismatics, where passion, scholarship, market dynamics, and human curiosity intersect to create extraordinary outcomes. The 1960 D1 cent is therefore both a benchmark and a legend, demonstrating what is possible when scarcity, condition, history, and collector enthusiasm converge. It continues to inspire, educate, and captivate new generations of collectors, reminding us that even the smallest and most ordinary seeming objects can conceal extraordinary value, history, and beauty. The coin story highlights the interplay between chance and intention, human error and meticulous production, and ultimately, the enduring appeal of tangible artifacts in a world increasingly dominated by intangible assets. For collectors, investors, and enthusiasts, owning a 1960 D1 cent is the pinnacle of achievement, representing a union of luck, skill, patience, and knowledge, and the coin's continued prominence in auctions and private collections ensures that its legend will only grow over time, cementing its status as one of the most extraordinary and valuable coins in American numismatics, a true testament to the power of rarity, the fascination with historical anomalies, and the enduring allure of discovering extraordinary treasures hidden within the ordinary. Ultimately, the 1960 D1 cent stands as a symbol of opportunity, chance, history, and human curiosity, demonstrating that coins are more than currency. They are stories, legacies, and investments that connect us across time, bridging generations of collectors, historians, and enthusiasts, and ensuring that the legend of this remarkable coin will continue to captivate the imagination and passion of all who encounter it, serving as a reminder that even a 1-cent coin can hold within it the potential to be valued at millions of dollars, a perfect illustration of how imperfection, rarity, preservation, and human fascination combine to create objects of enduring significance, excitement, and wonder, and the 1960 D1 cent remains, without question, one of the most extraordinary and highly coveted coins in the history of U.S. coinage. A treasure whose story, value, and allure will endure for generations to come, inspiring awe, scholarship, and the relentless pursuit of discovery in the ever-fascinating world of numismatics.